Hello crafters, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today we are going to have a fun live using some products from my stash today. Before I do anything or say anything, I would just like to thank everyone who's in the chat already, particularly my moderator Benita, who's under a pile of papers. That's her name, but she's actually under the weather at the moment. So I hope you're feeling better, Benita. I have all my comments just down here. Where am I? Yeah, you can see just down there. So I'll be leaning over and back to have a look. So I'm going to give a shout out to all those, Zane, to Benita, to who else is there? Cara from Little Rabbit Designs is with us. Kay, good morning, Kay. Yeah, so we have a few people in. It says we have 9 people watching at the moment. So whether you're on your device watching quietly, maybe you're at the hospital or at work or something, or just watching from your telly, thank you so much for watching. If you are on a device and you're able, I'd love for you to give my channel a thumbs up. It pushes out this live broadcast so people will see on YouTube. It'll come up in there, you know, next up or more. So it just helps my visuality. Is that a word? Visuality? Oh, I don't know, but it just helps get me out there, so I really do appreciate it. So okay, I'm going to work today with the made to make products that I have here. This is a subscription product, and I have a link in the chat there, in the live chat. You might see there's a pinned link. It's to Craft World, and that's my affiliate link. If you use that link to go to Craft World and purchase products, or maybe subscribe to the next issue of the kit, then I do get a little kickback and it helps the channel, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you can use my link, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so Zane says I'm the best. Thank you, Zane. I'm not, but I do try. Good morning to everyone. Lynn is there. Benita is saying good morning to Lynn. Watching but cooking, won't be able to comment much. That's okay. You don't have to comment if you're not able to. That's fine. Yeah, so everyone is just having a chat. I will bring to attention what Benita has just said in the comments, that the Makers Edition 1, they have been released now into the Craft World chat, into their sales area. Ugh, words are hard. So if you click on my link to Craft World, it will bring you in, and if you select the craft products, you can then go to Made to Make, and you should see there that there are issues of Makers Edition 1 now available to purchase. So they held back, I think Sam said, 30 boxes, so that if there was any issues with the subscribers kits, they could then, you know, reissue them a new one. But as far as I know, there was very little problems other than packaging transiting through you know, the postal service. I think, well, I mean, you could be hit and miss no matter whose postal service it's going through. I've received some products that have been really dinged up and others that have arrived perfectly. So I think it's down to how the process is. But yeah, so if you're interested in the first one, which was all gnomes, and I do have a playlist down below if you want to click on that and show you some of the cards that I made using it, then it's great fun. Yeah, so I'm going to move down to the desk and I'm going to show you the Makers Edition. There we go. So this is the Makers Edition, Edition 2, and this is the one I'm going to be using today. Now, in my last video that I made, I did it with the fabulous lighthouse, And today's one, I'm not going to be using the lighthouse at all. I'm going to be using the other products that came in the kit. So I'm kind of focusing mostly on the stamp set. I do apologise for the shine from my lights because it's a little bit dull. There's full cloud cover out there, but it's dry, so we won't complain. But this is the stamp set. I did a live where I stamped and coloured some of the images. I'm a slow colorist. So I got some of them done, but I finished them all myself while watching Sam from Mixed Up Crafts. She was doing a live, so I was colouring while she was crafting. And these are my finished images. I then scanned these using my printer scanner, and that way then I will be able to just print out more copies and use them if I'm doing lots of cards. I do find using my printer though, the colours aren't as vibrant as what my alcohol markers give me, but these ones can be cut down as well. I can fussy cut these out and use them. But the ones I'm going to use today are actually the scanned images. So I'm going to move these out of the way, and I have everything brought. I have it all here in one of my little homemade box lids that I have. I might just bring over that light for a bit more light on the desk. Hopefully that's better. So some of the images that I printed up, these are them. And like I said, they're a little darker. I think no matter what printer you buy, you'll struggle to get your prints the exact same as your hand-coloured images. But I'm delighted with these. Sure, who's going to know these were scanned and printed up of the recipients that gets a card from me, other than them watching a video or a live and finding out. So I have a lot of these images cut up here and ready to go. You can see them there, all ready to go, and I have some here in my box lid so that that'll save me a bit of time. Now I'm also, before I go any further, I'm using the Big Words stamp and die set. This is them there. I love this one. There are 4 different word sets that Sam has. This one is one of my favorite for the word birthday, but they're all fabulous. Again, click my pinned link there in the comments if you want to pop over to Craft World and see what they have. If you find that there's products that Craft World are sold out of, there is a Facebook group called MTS Addicts Anonymous. If you join that group, if you're a fan of everything made to surprise, a lot of people who purchase might use for a while and sell. Or if you're looking for something, you can put in a post there if there's a specific made to surprise product you're looking for. You may get it there. Again, it's not all of the products are used. Sometimes people get stuff and then they don't use it, so they sell it on, maybe buy something else. So that's another thing. But again, use my pinned link, my affiliated link there if you're looking for something in particular. So now let's have a quick look. Cara from Little Rabbit Design says that she has this, but she hasn't used it yet. It really is a lovely kit. I love the gnomes and I love everything gnomey or gnomes. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But for masculine makes, I think this one is really good. And I know we cliche it, you know, if we're sending a card to a male or masculine card, you know, it's got to be guys and they're gaming or there's drinks or something. It's really hard to get something. I think this kit could be used for a lady or a gent, to be honest, but it makes sending a card to a guy so much easier. So I hope you enjoy making with it, Cara, and I look forward to seeing any videos that you share on YouTube using the kit. Oh, Cara says as well, they've got all the sunshine over there. Yeah, I tell you here, it was St. Patrick's Day here, or Paddy's Day, as we say. We don't call it patties. Patty is wrong. That's a burger or a female. It's not Patrick. So on Paddy's Day here yesterday, I'm on the West Coast, and it was very wet and windy, and I was really fearing for all the people who were going to be going out on parades, but it did kind of cheer up. But I think they had great weather up in Dublin for it. Yeah. Let's see. Conversations are being had in the chat. It's lovely to see. Absolutely lovely. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to make a 6x6 card is what I'm going to make. Can I just tell you, I went to the post office the other day because I got a card returned to me. And it was, what size was it? I think it was a 6x6 card. It was on a Thursday. I went to the post office to post my mom's Mother's Day card. And because she would get it next day here in Ireland. The post is pretty good. But I had sent it earlier in the week because I kind of felt, well, if it gets there on a Wednesday, I don't mind. She can wait to open it. But it got returned to me. And I'm like, holy hell, why has this been returned? And it was not enough postage. Now, it was a national 6x6 card that I was sending, and I thought a national stamp would do fine. So I popped that on, not enough postage. So I went down to the post office with it, and I went in and I said, I put it in a new envelope, and I said to the lady, can I get this to go, you know? And she said fine, and quoted me for an Irish stamp. And I said no. I said, are you sure? And she looked at me, you know, it's my job, of course I'm sure. And she said yes. And I went, well, it got returned to me with not enough postage on it, so can you check it, please? So she was, oh, I will, I'll check it for you. So she put it through the little slot. Now, there was a little bit of bulk on it, and she said, well, it will fit through the slot, but at a push. But she said, and it's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit tight. So then she put it on the weighing scales, and she said, oh. And I went, and she went, you actually need to use a bigger amount. And I went, well, yeah, I kind of figured that. It's why it got returned to me. And she was like, yeah, it's $3.50. So a stamp, which I had on for $1.80, which is the national stamp cost, the price of posting it went up to $3.50. My mind was blown. I was like, oh my goodness, that is mad. So I think the price of postage for everyone has gone up. Yeah, so a couple of you are liking the fact that I scan my stamps. Lovely. And Lynn is saying they have beautiful weather today. She has washing on the line. Well, I have a wash in the machine, and I'm going to go out and clean my, I have a spinny line, the Baranta or whatever it's called. So I need to go out and clean all the ropes off that, and then I can hang up a line of washing. But I think today will be my first of the year wash going outside. Anyway, let's carry on. I kind of digress there with postage costs and everything. So normally I would make a 6x6 card. Get yourself a piece of 12x12 cardstock, cut it down so you have a piece of 12x6, and then score it at 6. But 12x12 cardstock can be expensive. And I have lots of A4 card. So what I tend to do is take a piece of A4 and I cut it down to 5 7/8. So I would cut it down so it's 5 7/8 by 11 3/4. And then I score it at 5 7/8. So I have a card base that is just shy of 6x6. And it's perfect. And it saves you having to buy the dearer cardstock to get a 12x6. So that's what I have here. I have a piece that measures 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. Oh, Lynn said she keeps her one in the shed so it keeps clean. She has a second load of washing in the machine doing its job. Do you know what? I think there is nothing nicer than bringing washing in off the line. It just smells so fresh. It's lovely. There's Dawn. Good morning, Dawn. Dawn is from First Light Crafts. Good morning and welcome to my live, Dawn. Dawn is another great crafter and YouTuber. So if you haven't seen Dawn, you might pop over to her channel if you get a chance. She said it's a bright and sunny day here and it's great to see me again. Thanks very much. I'm hoping to go regularly every Wednesday morning. Sam from Mixed Up Crafts, she goes live on a Wednesday afternoon at 2. And what I'll probably do is on the Wednesdays that she's not going to be live at 2 p.m. BST or Irish time, what I'll do is maybe move up and fill in that slot for when she's not on. But the morning time suits me because then I have the whole rest of the day, and I'm debating whether I'm going to go out and trim some hedging out the front. I have it in my mind. Whether I do it now, I don't know. And there's Susie as well. Good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. Susie, thank you for joining us as well. So onto my card base, I want to add some mats and layers. So I have 2 pieces of blue cardstock here, and these measure 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. I'm going to put one on the outside. This card is going to be a top folding card, and you'll see it just gives us a nice tight little border the whole way around there, which would be lovely. So I have one for the inside as well, and I'll pop that in there like so. And then I have a piece of white cardstock, and this is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Now this will give us a little bit of a bigger border to our blue card, and I thought that would be nice, going with a skinny border and then having the nice wide blue border. And then onto that in the front, I've got a piece of pattern paper, and I love this pattern paper with the lighthouses and everything. So this piece measures 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on the front. Inside, I'm just going to have my white panel, and that way then I'll have room to write my message. And onto the inside here, I'm going to add 3 panels, and these 3 panels will make up the inside. But what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them on a spring mechanism. Now, the spring mechanism is something I picked up from Sam from Mixed Up Crafts. For those of you who know who Sam is, these little springy panels, I like to think of them as frog's legs because they look like the legs off a frog's body. I did a previous video where I made one big springy panel on the front. I'd love to show you that, but I can't because that went to my father-in-law for his birthday. Himself and my mother-in-law, they live about 2 fields away from the sea on the west coast in Sligo, and it's so beautiful there. But I thought that would be a wonderful card for him, so I can't show it to you, but I will after the video put links into that. But these springy panels are going to sit behind, so I have a big, a medium and a small panel, and they'll each go underneath. So it means that my little panels here will lift up. This one is going to lift up about 1/4 of an inch off. This one will lift up 1/2 an inch, and then this one will be 3/4. So they'll be stepped, which I thought would be really fun. And then onto those we can add a plethora of my colored images that I have here. Susie is in England. Good morning, Susie from England. Sure, there's people here sometimes watching and they're in New Zealand, and we have family friends in Australia, and sometimes they'll tip in and put it on. There is 14 lovely people who have joined, and we have 11 thumbs up. Thank you so much to those of you who have pressed the thumbs up. So I have the little sea hut. Now sometimes you'll see these striped, which I think is lovely, but I went for full color on mine because if I was to have a beach hut, I definitely have a pink one. And I don't know if you can see it, but I put the Irish flag at the top. A little nod to where I am. So I thought I'd put my beach hut up here, and I might put my little deck chair on here as well. Now you can see here where I fussy cut this out, I didn't fussy cut inside because life's too short to be doing stuff like that. But I did take a marker. I have the Crafty Co Expert markers. These are from Smith's toy stores here in Ireland. They were cheap as chips, like €60 I think for 300 of them. But they're grand, they do the job. But this colour, which I got from my colour chart, I have most of, but not all of my colours here coloured in. It looked very similar to my sandy bottom here. So I thought I would just colour that in, and I'll do a little bit of stippling as well because it looks like we have stippling there. So I will do that on there, and I'll also bring that around the edge of my sand as well. I've got a lovely little sand castle. I've got a surfboard. I've got a seagull. I've got some shells there, and I've got a kite. Well, actually, I have 4 kites. I'm not sure which one I want to use, whether I'll go with the blue or the pink, or I might go, you know, orange or something like that. And then I have the little tails from that as well. So I'll probably put my kite here and my little bird up there. And then my happy birthday sentiment, I'm going to pop that down here. So when this stands up, I will then look to see where I want to put it, but it'll probably go somewhere like that with the happy, and then the birthday, if I can pick it up, because I don't want to damage it, the birthday will go there. And I'll have enough room up here to put in a hidden message if I want, or, you know, to go underneath. So you can put these wherever you like. And I have my little tittle there as well, my dot on the eye ready to go. So that's all the pieces and parts. Now, what I think I'll do first is I'm going to add all my mats and layers, and once I have that done, then we can add our panels and decorate on the inside. So, crafty friends, before I go any further, I just want you to know I have a delivery arriving today. I did not expect this delivery to arrive until tomorrow because of it being St. Patrick's Day yesterday, but apparently DPD deliveries are very quick off the mark. So I've got a camera above where my laptop is there, and I'm keeping an eye, so if he does pull up, I'll be able to pop out and grab the packages and have as little disturbance as possible. I do know that Ghost will probably bark, but I hope you'll bear with me with that. So now I'm going to grab my Kalal glue, which I have here. I get the really large bottle of the Kalal glue, and I have decanted it into this. This was an old Made to Surprise bottle. It was the glossy accent glaze, whatever you want to call it. And that's what I gave this a good wash and allowed it to dry, and then decanted my Kalal into it, because it is a lovely bottle. It's a nice size for using and works nice. I like the tip on this bottle. It gives you a nice amount. I find the Kalal bottles, the smaller ones, they can ooze a lot of glue out everywhere, and I don't like that. So hence the reason I decant it into that bottle. So now we have that one on there. I'll add my pattern paper. Now the pattern paper is a lighter paper, but I find the Kalal glue is very good on this and doesn't warp it. So I love that. So now, lady, there's not a whole lot of chat going on in the comments section. What are you up to today? Have you any plans? Are you crafting? Are you unwell like Benita? Are you at work or at home? Have you got nice weather for doing a spot of gardening? My garden now is starting to look a little bit scraggledy. I've got crocosmia that grows every year, and when it dies back in the autumn, it looks very straggly. So I need to go out and trim all that back. We have a large laurel hedge between us and the road on this side right behind me, and we had hoped to get it trimmed down before the birds start nesting, but the weather was so bad, and hubby and I planned to do it ourselves, but it was so bad we didn't get out to go do it, and now it's too late because there are nesting laws here that the 1st of March you cannot cut your hedge back or do any kind of trimming like that in case of the nesting birds. And I'm a big fan of the nesting birds. We have bird feeders out to encourage the lovely little green tits and blue tits and all the tits. And we have robins and little what's the black and grey little fella that bobs his tail, is so cute. We've got doves as well, ring-necked doves that come here. But I like to feed the little birds over the winter because they need the little energy boost for them, you know. And I'll stop feeding the birds from about the end of May, because I figure, you know, the parents are working their little butts off, you know, feeding them. But I do see them not only going to the feeders, but I do see them getting the little bugs and grubs and things around as well. And I don't put out seeds. I only put out the peanuts because they can go in the wire baskets. And I find that the pigeons and the crows, we don't have a lot of pigeons. Well, we do have woodland pigeons, but they're not coming to the feeders looking for food, which is great because some of them can carry a virus and it can kill off the small birds. So they contaminate your feeder, especially the seed feeders. And the little birds, I only saw this the other day on a short on YouTube. The little birds then, they end up getting the virus. I think it's the green linnet that is mostly affected by it. I could be wrong there, but it's little birds. But I find we're in the country as well, and with having the peanut, I've 2 of them out on cherry blossom trees at the front. We don't see rats or mice, whereas my aunt, she's actually my dad's first cousin, but she's always been our aunt. She put out a bird feeder with the seeds and all the things, and it was awful. She had the amount of mice and other things that came along, and it was horrible. But we've never had that problem using the nuts. So just in case any of you are interested, that's what I use. The willy wagtail, that's it, Dawn, you're right, the wagtail. Well, we call him willy wagtail over here. But yeah, the little wagtails, they're so cute, bopping it along. And yeah, it's so fun to see all the little different creatures, you know, the little birds and everything. I started following a guy on YouTube. I think his name is Robert E. Fullerton, something like that. But he's I think he's a farmer and he's a naturist. But he puts up boxes for owls, and oh, man, that's what I spotted him again on a short at the weekend. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. So I went and subscribed to his channel and started watching him, and it's lovely. We have heard, we haven't seen here, owls. They kind of sound a bit like foxes, because foxes screech. They have more of a screech, but these were, I think, long-eared owls, and it was like one was over there and one was over there, and they were calling to each other, and maybe it was parent calling to its young or something, but that was so cool. I have the ornithology app, and I went out. It was like dark. It was just after dusk. This is about 2 years ago. And I went out with my app and put it on, and it came back that it was such and such an owl. So that was really cool. Right, so for the front, I'm just embellishing with my little sea shed, because I don't want the front to be the thing that people look at. I want them to open the card and go, oh wow, and then leave it displayed open. So I'm just, for an embellishment, going to put that there. I was thinking of putting birthday wishes or something on it, but I think I'm just going to have that on it. I might put a little sand castle there as well. Yeah, I will, because I have a few in the tub that I've already done. So I'm using my Kalal glue here, and the only reason I'm using it is because it's out on the desk in front of me. But I'm going to grab my quick grab glue and pop that on as well. So I'll just put that there. Oh, I never coloured in my little flag there on the top. So I might do that. I grab a little marker, and I think I will pull out a green colour, just because it's similar to the green on the green, white and gold for Paddy's Day, as we've had that recently. So I'll pop that in there, and I think that's all down nicely. So now we can start with our panels inside. I will pop the tip of my pin in there. I think Ghost has woken up. Ghost is our dog, if you are new to the channel. He is a setter retriever mix. He's so cute and grumbly. Let me see. Oh, Beth is there. Good morning, Beth. She said she's sorry she's late. You're welcome. I'm just here gassing away and chatting away. So now I'm going to give you the measurements for my 3 little mechanisms, as well as my 3 panels. And after the live, I will go down into the description and put in the measurements for these. I should have done it before it, but I forgot. That's just being hands up honest. I forgot. Okay, so let's see. The smallest mechanism, it measures 1.5 inches by 5 inches. I've scored it at 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/4. I do apologize if you can hear that. There's a tractor going up the road. So that's my smallest one. And I have folded that into a mountain, a valley, and a mountain. So like I said, you get this frog's leg shape. Well, that's what I'm calling it. You can see it better there now. So what I want to do is I'm going to add some glue onto the legs of this, and then stick my panel on top. Now this panel measures, let's see, did I write this down? I did. I have my measurements just there. So this one is 5.5 by 1 inch long. Now I have this done with white cardstock and a piece of light blue cardstock, and I was debating doing a bit of stenciling of the clouds with some white colours, so I might see how we're doing for time and maybe do that. But I'm going to close the little tabs in there and stick this on like so, and I'll use my liquid glue and I'll pop that into the middle like so, and then that way I can add glue to this piece here and add that on to our top there. So that's the smallest panel. Then our middle size panel, this one measures, let's see, 5.5 by 2. No, it's this one. Get it right, Simone. 5.5 by 2. And I have, no, it's not. Looking at the wrong thing. Okay, this piece. Live, it's fun. This piece measures Did I give you the right measurements for these? I did, didn't I? Yes, this is 1.5 by 5, scored at 1/4, 1/2, 1 and 1 1/4. And then my little panel is 5.5 by 1 inch. Okay, so then my next one is this one. And this measures 5 by 3. And I have scored it at 1/2, 1, 2 and 2.5. And again, I have a mountain, valley, valley and mountain folds for that. And on top of that, I have my panel. This measures 5.5 by 2. And I've added paper from the kit onto this, and I've backed it with 300 GSM white cardstock, just because it was a little light and I wanted it to have a bit of strength to it. So that's that one. That's our middle panel. And then our last one, our mechanism, measures 4.5 by 5, and on the 4.5 inch side we're scoring at 3/4, 1.5, 3 and 3 3/4. And again, this is a mountain, valley, valley, mountain fold. And onto that we have our panel, which measures 5.5 by 2.5, and that'll sit on the top. Now I have these little footprints. Let me see if the webcam will pick that up. Can you see them there? They're meant to be little flip-flop footprints down there. I think you can just see them. But they are from a stamp set that I had in my stash. They're a Love from Lizzie stamp set. I have it over there. But if you have, you might have a footprints stamp set or anything like that. I just thought it'd be fun to have like wet footprints on it, so that's what I used. So that's those 3. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick them on, and you could use some double-sided tape, you can use your liquid glue. I'm going to use my tonic glue, and I've got it in the Sweet Petunia glue press. Hopefully it works. If not, I'll pull out some other plethora of glue. I think it's coming to an end. And that's the one thing that annoys me about this glue press, I have to say. If it's left for a couple of days or it's not used, you know, over the weekend, it tends to block. And then you have to get a pin out of something else. And I don't want to use my Kalal because that is it's a different glue. So let's see if I can get a pin out of here. Okay, and we'll unblock this, which is a disappointment because I honestly thought that this wouldn't block because of the cushion that it has at the bottom, but I have found that it does block a little. Hello, James. Welcome to the comments. Benita, don't delete that comment. He's a family friend. James is XJ Pearl, and he's just went, Jesus. It's a very Irish thing, and he's American. Simone is still on the whiskey from yesterday's festivities. No, I wasn't drinking the whiskey. It was Mike that was drinking the whiskey, James, not me. Oh my gosh, now I need to try and get the pin back in this bottle. Fun times. Okay, let's see if this works now, or I'll move on to a different glue. Yay, we have liftoff. Houston, we had a problem, but now we have liftoff, thankfully. I know a lot of people find this glue press really, really good. And I have to say, it is really good and really handy. But I love, where's it gone? My Burley Arts precision glue. And I love the bottle it's in as well. But you know, when you're a crafter, you like to have all the things, especially when you're YouTubing. It's nice to have all the things to share. But do you need to have all the things? No, you don't. Not at all. But I think, see what I mean? This really is penance. Oh, Benita will be there now laughing at me. Morning, Beth. How are you? There's Hayley. Hayley's cards. Hayley is the design team lady for Sam from Mixed Up Crafts. I'm going to give up on that. That's very annoying. Let's see if I can get my... Normally I store my bottles upside down. Live crafting, friends. Isn't this wonderful? The next thing that'll happen now will be a delivery guy. I'm going to have to nip out of the craft room. But sure, look, you know, I'm at home. I'm not a pro. I'm not in a studio. So, you know, if it makes you laugh, I'm delighted. Let's see now if we can get this pin out, because I haven't used this in weeks. Oh, I might just move on to using dry tape. Come on now, Barely Arts. Don't let me down. Oh, it is going to let me down. Isn't that just a bummer? Guys, I totally give up. Okay, let's try the Craft Stash Creative. Oh, look at that Creative Craft. That's Craft World when it was Craft Stash. Look at that. Doesn't let you down. Oh, mama. Hopefully this is going to stick. So, did I say hello to Hayley? Hi, Hayley. Hi, Beth. James is sending me all the love. Thank you very much, James. It is much appreciated. Very much needed. I'm going to stick this in the middle and stick it down. There we go. And I'm going to give that a minute because Lord knows it will probably need it. And I will wipe away any of the excess glue. Yeah, so we need the little legs in there to glue in like so. If they start moving out, then they won't be right. So I've got little pegs from my crocheting, and I'm just going to pop one on there and pop one on there, and I'm going to move on to the next one, and that'll hold them in place so the glue can catch, and I can move on to the next one and have more fun times with our lovely glue. Benita says, I'm not laughing at you at all. I know you're not, because you're not that type of crafty sister. She says, don't give up. Of course I'm not going to give up. I've no choice but to keep going. See, if this was a video that I was recording, I would just press pause, walk away, grab a drink of tea, let the dog out for a pee, you know, just to kind of get out of the headspace. That's the great thing about when you're crafting live. You just have to suck it and see. So I've got my glue again on my two little tabs there. Craft World Craft Stash glue for the win. And again, I'm going to put them in now. I didn't want it to ooze glue everywhere. The great thing about this glue, as well as the Barely Arts glue and the tonic glue, is if it oozes out, it will dry clear and it won't dry tacky. So I'm going to grab another peg and stick that on there, and I'll take that one off that and stick that on. Now if you do have glue that oozes out like that, get your embossing buddy. I have one here, and just rub it along, and the powder from that will then take off any tacky residue. But like I said, powder everywhere. I don't need to do that because the Craft World Craft Stash glue, Craft World Craft Stash, it doesn't actually cause a tacky residue. Neither does the Kalal glue. When they dry, that's the one thing I dislike about the Tombow glue. Oh my goodness, James. Thank you so much for your super thanks. Gosh, that is absolutely lovely of you. Thank you so much. There is a super thanks button down beside the comments, and yeah, James is after clicking on that and sending me a gift of $20. So thank you very much for doing that. It will definitely go back into crafty products. That is lovely of you. Sometimes when I'm watching the bigger crafters, I see the super thanks coming in, and yeah, I'm like, oh wow, I wonder, can I like that? Let me just, yay, I gave it a like. So if all of you could give a thumbs up to James's comment there, St. Patrick's love from Nebraska. Ah, that's so very generous of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is, isn't it, Benita? It's very nice. It's lovely. I kind of feel like, you know, I have arrived. I'm like the Jennifer Maguires and Nicole Spores getting a super chat during my live. That is so, honestly, I'm blown away. Thank you so much. That is so lovely of you. Avril has joined us. Good morning from Cork, Avril. How is your weather down there? I've been having fun times with my liquid adhesive, Avril. It not wanting to work for me. But I've come back to the good old Craft Stash glue, which is no longer available to buy. But of all the glues other than the Kalal, it's the only one that would work for me. So now I'm going to try and squeeze these in without making too much of a mess. Lovely. And again, I'm going to just use my pegs to clip them down. Now, I haven't burnished those little mechanisms, and the reason I haven't burnished them is if you burnish, that means to go over the score lines and flatten them down. What will happen is when you when the card is open, they don't pop up a lot, so I want them to pop up, and I haven't, you know, burnished those. So you could give it more, you know, you could put more so that it pops up more. But I didn't want it popping up too much. I think that's enough really for it to pop up in the card. Now, so we have one going up there, one is going to go in here, and one is going to go in here. So I'm going to start at the bottom one as I've all the pegs off it, and I'm going to add glue just to the back of this little springy mechanism here. Just add glue there, and I'm going to sit this down. I'll bring this over another bit. And I'm going to give it its border, because with all of them like so, we should still have our border, but because they're not all springing up the same height, it doesn't matter if they're kind of overlapping a little bit, but we'll try and keep them nice and tidy. But you can see there now, ooh, I have got a delivery. I bet this guy is coming into me. I'll tell you, it's not crafty products that's coming in. I'm just going to pop and open the door. I don't want him to leave that outside. So this is your time to take a little break. I am going to bring up a little intermission. Okay, and we're back. I wonder, could you hear me? I set up that intermission. I knew that guy was going to come, and I was afraid he'd be very loud. So give me a thumbs up if I'm back and you can hear everything okay. I'm a little breathless from running up and down, but let me have a look. Avril said, look at this pro with her intermission. I know, I worked on that this morning. Do my best to look professional here. Lynn is asking how the parade was yesterday to Avril. Avril says she's sticking with her Cosmic Shimmer and Kalal glues. Nothing else cuts it for me. I think I'm behind you on that one there. Oh, and Benita said we could hear you. Of course she could. I have a microphone on. Look, next time round, I will remember to mute my mic. No one said this was a professional gig here, guys. Oh, that makes me laugh. We could hear you. Good job you were giving out. And I had music in the background for that and everything. I forgot to mute it. Oh my goodness. What am I like? Okay, let's go back to popping this down. Right, I'm going to add some liquid adhesive to my springy little panel. And we'll pop that down. Now, I do like the Creative Craft Products glue. The only thing is I did find that it took a little bit longer than, we'll say, the Cosmic Shimmer or one of those to stick, you know, to adhere. So we have one panel down, and now we can add the second. Again, James, before your little comment and your super thanks disappears from the screen, I'd like to thank you very much for sending that to me. It's much appreciated. Thank you. So now I'm going to press down on this one, and then I'm going to line up the other one. I don't think this needs to be perfect. Perfection is overrated. What was it, Kelly Taylor? I watched a video by Kelly Taylor this morning. She was colouring in ice cream cones, and it made me actually think of this kit because there are some lovely ice cream cones, the scooped type, and she was colouring in hers. Now hers were die cuts that you could layer and everything, but she was saying something about perfection as well. Not that it was overrated, but that it was something else. And I thought, yeah, I agree with you there, Mrs. So that one is down. I think that looks good. And now I'm going to add the last one on top. And missed a bit. I'm going to turn this around just so it will make it easier for me to line it up. So I'm going to press down the second one now so I can line them up. I think that's about right. That's the great thing about the wiggle room that you get on the liquid glue. So now, so my card it's not popped up too much, and it's not a card that's going to, you know, sit up like so and stand up. If I wanted to do that, what I would have done was I would have added another panel to this so it sits out like an easel card. But most people will have their card on a shelf or a mantelpiece, and they'll just have it sitting against something. And I'm okay with that, you know. There's all kinds of different types and styles of cards, so I'm quite happy with this. You could, of course, put this onto the front so that when, you know, the person takes the card out, you have those panels on the front of the card, and then you can just stand it like so. So the recipient will either stand it like so to make it stand up, or they'll have it like so and then it will stand up. So again, you can add it as an easel or a tentfold style card, but I just like it like so. I think it looks cool, looks fun. And sure, now we have a use for our sweet petunia glue press. I'm going to use it there to stand everything up. First of all, I'm going to add, I think the problem with my Burley Arts glue is I store it like so. And if the glue is down low, and I think there's only about maybe a quarter of the bottle left, it really needs to be stood on its head. That way when you pull out the pin, it's not, you know, it's going to work. Otherwise you get a skin on the top of the glue. So yeah, I think I need to use them more often. But definitely Craft World glue, Creative Craft Products glue, if you have some in your stash. I know Avril has some in her stash, don't you, Avril? You have a load of it in your stash. Oh, it was supposed to say, good job you weren't giving out. No, I wasn't. I'm surprised because I went down to the end of the drive because there's a big box and then a smaller package. And what it actually is that we got is a topper for our bed. We got a new bed when we moved in here, and it's a Super King bed, so it's a nice big one. And it's a lovely bed, but it's a special orthopedic, all the business was expensive bed that we got. And I get out of that bed. I've had 2 surgeries on my back. I've had keyhole surgery regarding disc issues and stuff over the years. So when we moved in, we thought, you know what, we'll get decent mattresses. We're getting that bit older now. So, you know, we did. And it's a lovely mattress and everything to sleep on, but I'm stiff when I get out of it. The hips are stiff and the lower back is stiff. And I just thought, you know, it's me. But Mike is starting to feel stiff getting out of it now as well. And we were recently over in our daughter's house in the Netherlands, and she gave us her bed. And it's an IKEA bed. It's not a special mattress. It's, you know, they're young, starting their new house and everything. They got an IKEA bed. And we slept in it for 4 nights. And I had not one issue with my hip or my back or anything getting out of that bed in the morning. So when we came home, hubby said I said to him, we should look at getting a topper. And he was like, oh, okay, whatever you think yourself. So there before the weekend, Mike had a look, and Silent Night, I think that's a pretty good brand, but that is the brand that he got. We purchased a new, I'm actually going to add a little bit more glue to that, bring it up a bit. So we got a new topper, and that's what came in the post. And I just didn't want to leave it outside, hence the reason I went running out. Now, the guy might have come to the porch and put it in the porch, but sometimes they throw it at the porch door. And again, I didn't want to be lifting this heavy box into the house, so I thought, well, if I catch him, I can get him to do it. So hence the reason it went running out. But because now there's a topper going on the mattress, and the mattress is a deep mattress, I had to get deep mattress fitted covers. So there was 2 lots coming, so I took one and he took the other. Right, I'm going to colour in the white on my deck chair, because I don't want to see white, I want to see sand. And like I said earlier, you could actually cut this out if you're inclined. I'm not inclined. The reason is I do not like using sharp knives or scalpels, you know, like a craft knife. I do have one there, but I dread using it because I would cut myself on a butter knife. And if there is a stairs in the house, I'll either fall up it or fall down it. So yeah, so I didn't cut them out. But I figured I'd just do the sand with it. Now I'm going to have a look at my chart and see. I might pick up, I want to do some stippling. BK29, can I find that? Where is that? Let's see what I have. Oh, there's 94. That's quite dark. 97. We might try the 97 and see how we get on. James was giving a thumbs up there. Thank you. Avril said she'll send it to me. I guess you're talking about the glue there, are you? I'm just very lightly stippling. I think this is a little dark, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this. And then I'm going to go over it again with this. And around there. Now if you want to see how to do colouring really well, then go to Kelly Taylor Evans on YouTube. She is fantabulous. That'll do nicely. And then I can pop that there. Now I know it's going to cover my footprints, but I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. And I'm going to glue that down. Now you could put a little bit of dimension onto your card, but because this is closing inside the card, I'm going to keep it flat. And because the price of posting cards has gone up so much and I am not impressed, I am just going to stick that down there. I'll move that a little out of the way and I'm just going to overlap them. Lovely. Okay, that'll do nicely. I have got a surfboard. Now I was kind of thinking of leaning that up against the sea hut, but I think I'm going to cut the sand off, and I'm going to grab my Fiskars scissors. I think I want to cut this off and just fussy cut around it so it looks as if it's leaning against. That'll do nicely. And I'll pop that up there like that. Yes, that'll do nicely. Right. Just like that. So that looks like it's leaning up against our little seashore shed there. Happy with that. I know I want my little seagull to go up here. So he's keeping an eye out for the people with fish and chips, so he can steal some, I think. So again, I'm going to glue him down up there because I know I want him there. So I'll glue him down up there. Kay says she's sure she has some of that CCP Creative Craft Products glue. She's going to dig hers out. You can't really beat it, I think. James says something to consider. Oh, did I miss that? Thumbs up. Maybe I did. Blonde. Yeah, the glue, the ton of it that you have, indeed. Benita said Kelly has taught her so much. I think Kelly Taylor Evans, if you're looking, I mean, there's lots of other colorists that you can watch on YouTube. She just happens to be one of my favorites that I like to watch. I just think she's brilliant. And then we can have our, do we want to add our kite? I don't know, do I want to add the kite? Because I don't want too much going on. I don't want it in pink or in blue. I know that. So it would be orange. Because we have our bird, I think I'm going to give it a miss. No to the kite. I've got my happy and my birthday. I need to stick those down. So so you have room then here, you know, to, we'll say Benita, happy birthday, and then lots of love, your crafty sister Simone will go underneath it, like that. So I think that'll go there. And what I might do is actually embellish. That's what we'll do. We'll embellish down here with our kite. Would that be lovely along there like that? And then I have some seashells that we can pop down here. I was going to pop them up there, but I think there's enough going on up here on our panels. I'm going to just do a little ink blending on that, but I think I like that for that. I do need to fussy cut this out. I haven't that done, but I think I shall stick my happy birthday down while it is out, and then we can finish up with our kite and seashells. Is that straight? I think so. This is the fun now with adding a little few drops of glue. This isn't really the right tip to have on this, but sure, it'll be grand. Am I missing anything in the comments? Benita says she has 2 birthday cards. Yeah, it's Benita's birthday soon. I sent one from Ireland, and I actually sent it before we went over to the Netherlands a couple of weeks ago, because I thought to myself, I want to make sure that that arrives safely and on time, because with the postal system, one never knows. Just add a little bit of pressure to that. I'll put a little drop down for my tittle. I do need my little pickup tool for that. Lovely. And we shall add our shells. And I'm just going to pop them into the corner there. Yeah, Dawn from First Light Craft says, great colour choice with the kite. Yourself and Benita, Dawn, are well met, because Benita is an orange girl as well. And now I'm not going to glue this, I'm going to glue this down the center along here. I don't mind if a little bit of it lifts for a little dimension. I think that'll be fun. So I'll add a little bit of glue there to the middle, and I think we'll have that something like that. And then I can fussy cut this out. I'm going to pop my little glue pin, my homemade glue pin, into the bottle there. Oh, there's some lovely feedback there for Benita, saying about having sent cards. Myself and Benita and a couple of the ladies, we do a messenger video chat. And excuse me, I'm just going to blow my nose. It is chilly in my room at the moment, so hence the reason. But a couple of the ladies have sent Benita some cards, so that's lovely. It's so wonderful to get cards from our crafty peers, I think, or friends, our crafty friends. The shop bought ones are lovely. It's always nice to get a card regardless. But it's nice getting one from your crafty sisters. So that's nice. So it'll give you something to look forward to, Benita, to open for your birthday. My birthday is in May and it's on the 4th. I'm so chuffed by that because as if you're at all a Star Wars fan, you will know that the 4th of May is a very special day for the Star Wardian people. Is that the correct term to use? They say, may the force be with you on the 4th. So, yeah. So this is a little bit tricky to fussy cut out, but if you turn the paper as I am doing, you should be able to do it, no problem. And I love these scissors. Now, I know some people do not like these scissors because they are sprung scissors, but I find for my wrist, I find it easier to use this scissors than a regular scissors because the handle wants to spring back because it's got a spring in there. So it makes it easier. It automatically wants to open so you can move it along. And then as the scissors opens, you move it along another bit. I have recommended these to a couple of crafty friends who have all said that they are delighted to have purchased them. If you're used to a regular scissors, then you may find them a little bit unusual to use in the beginning, but I have a little bit of tendinitis in my thumb. I actually have flaccid tendinitis, which sometimes affects me, and I burnt myself on my wrist right above the tendon, and as the burn healed, a little cyst developed. So I'm now I have to go and get it scanned to have it checked out because I mean my wrist is achy, whether it's from that or the bit of tendinitis. So I've got to go and get that checked out. Anyway, did I finish the conversation I started about the bed? So having been in the Netherlands and slept on my daughter's bed and having no issues with my back, hubby decided to purchase a topper. So we got the Silent Night topper for our Super King bed. And I'm really hopeful now that we'll be able to pop that on the bed and the two of us will wake up and go, sure, will you look at that? There's not a bother on us. Won't that be fab? So I'm hoping so. It's not just your standard topper. You know, it's like a duvet. This one is like a mini mattress with like a foam, what's that foam? Memory foam top on it as well. So I'm really hopeful that that is going to work. Now, there is my little fussy cut tails for the kite. So which end goes up at the top, this end or that end? I'd be inclined to say this end. So that's what I'm going to stick up here, just like that. I think that'll be lovely. And we'll use the Creative Craft Products glue only because I know it's going to work I'm going to have to go through all those glue bottles now and see what the story is with them and why they're not working. I'm very disappointed with that petunia. Now I'm not saying it's the press's fault. It could just be that my craft room is cold and it doesn't like that. The glue, the tonic glue doesn't like it. But we'll pop that down there. We'll pop the pin into our glue. And we could have actually had another one up there, so you can embellish to your heart's content. Now, before I'm going to add a little bit of Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, because who doesn't like a bit of sparkle? And I've also got the Made to Surprise confetti. They're like little clay pieces. And I think what I'm going to do is I might add a few of these on as well. Might pull out the blue colour maybe and add them in. I think that'll be fun. We'll throw a few out there, maybe add some on. Because as I have them, might as well use them. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle to my flag and to my life buoy, and I'm going to add some to my castle as well. Sparkle and shimmer to the castle. And I might add a little bit of sparkle to the sand, because you know when the sun hits the sand it does sparkle a bit. And I'm going to take a few little clay, and I'm going to add 3 here and 2 there, because odd numbers is satisfying. And I'm going to do them in blue. Oops. There's one in blue there, and one in blue there. I'm going to add one in pink here, and one in white. My wax tip isn't very warm, and hence the reason it's not gripping. We'll warm it up a little bit, but that's the reason it's not gripping. That's better now. So we've 2 there and 3 there, and I'm going to add, oh, I wanted to do a bit of stenciling there. Will I do it for a finish? What do you think, guys? Will I pull out the stencil? It's 10 to 12, so half 10. We're on just over half an hour. Question, does anyone use vinyl? Is tech wrap vinyl okay, or what would you recommend? It's for sticking on metal buckets. Now, that is a question that my hubby would be very good at answering for you, but I'm not. So hopefully there are some people in the comment section that can answer that for you, Lynn. I'm going to put 1 little heart there, and I think I'm going to put 1 little heart in the door, and that will be that. And I'm going to wait to hear from you. Do you think I should stencil a cloud up there before we go? I think I shall do a pink heart down here and a blue heart on the door. And hopefully this will stick. Oh, lovely. That's smashing. I love that. Yes, stencil, Benita says. Sure, do, says Avril. Let's get the stencils out, and hopefully we can find, oops, there we go. We get 2 stencils in the kit, these ones here. and they're absolutely fab. And I think if we stencil a little cloud, I think on there. Now I'll flip this around. Look, I should have done this earlier. Again, we're live. So let's see, white ink. Do we have, where is our white ink? We do. It is here. White. Now I have the VersaFine color white, and we'll get a little, I should have a little brush for doing that. Do I have one here? Do excuse all the noise. They're very soft. That one, oh, there we go. That's for doing white. Yeah, sure, we'll see. So I load up my brush. And let's see. Sure, it's a cloud. We'll put one up here. I don't know how white this is going to be. Oh, it's coming out all right. It's clouds. Doesn't have to be too in your face, does it? Oh, that's grand. Sure, we might do that smaller one down there, because let's be honest, if you're at a beach here in Ireland, there's going to be clouds. I don't know when the last time was I used this ink, and that's being honest now. We'll do another one there. This is real life crafting. Oh, I don't think there's a lot of help in the chat regarding the vinyl, Lynn. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? And I think I'm going to put the end of a cloud over here behind our seagull. Because again, odd numbers will look good. Yeah, I think that looks fab dizzy dozy. Oh, it does. I like that. That's cool. I do think I would like to give this one a bit of a more of a top. So let's see. We can layer up our colors there. You could do this in a grey. It would be more realistic. No, I'm joking. Listen, we do get some nice weather here in Ireland on occasion without clouds, but yeah, I think that looks good. I'll just give it a wipe off now, because I'll forget it being white ink and the stencil being a whitish colour. That's grand. We'll stick that back on there. So I want to do a little bit of sparkle pen on the inside. I'm going to put some on my shells and a little bit on the kite. I'm not going to do it on the whole thing, just where it's kind of the darkest. I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle on our splotches there. For a bit of fun, you know. Isn't it lovely to open a card and have a bit of sparkle on the card? And I'm going to do it on the life buoy here. I'm going to give a little bit of sparkle to my seagull's wings, just where it's shaded darker, and a little bit of sparkle just to the sand, just to catch. Now, like that. So, there is our lovely, lovely card that we've made today using, I'm going to move that out of the way, and these out of the way as well. I'll just move them over there. So there is our nearly 6 by 6. It's a 5 7/8 by 5 7/8 card, and we have lots of sparkle, and we have some clay hearts from our stash in there. We've used pattern paper and stamps and the products from the Made to Make Makers Edition 2 kit. And when you open it up, then you can see there we have our pop-up layers that come up. We have our lovely sky with our seagull, we have our water background, and then we have our beach. I think our lady is in the sea shed at the moment. She's changing so she can go surfing in the lovely calm waters that's there. We've got our kite then, and our little shells here, and our happy birthday sentiment. We could have put the happy birthday on the panel here and then had a sentimental verse here, but I do like using the big words. Now this big word does come with a shadow. I haven't used the shadow, so it looks like as if it's stamped down there, which I think is really, really cool. So there we go. What do we think? Benita said it's stunning. Thanks, Benita. Avril said she loves it, and Dawn says, what a fantastic card. Thank you for a fabulous session. It was great fun. Well, I'm really glad that you have enjoyed it, and if you have enjoyed it and you're watching this on replay, then do give it a thumbs up. It really does help my channel to grow. I'm going to come back up to myself now. There we go. And there's our lovely card. Let me see if I can do this right so you can see it. Isn't that lovely? I think that's smashing. Another one for the stash. So I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for participating to those of you who are joined me live and that are in the comment section. I really appreciate it. We've had about 20 people watching all told during the live that has come up on the chat there. So I'm delighted. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave it there. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day, your week, and see you soon again. Bye for now.